Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing all basic lands, ninjas. This is real ninjas. This is not blue-black tempo with a few ninjas in it. We have leaned heavily into the notion of ninjutsuing out our creatures. We have to enable them 4 Ornithopters and 3 Slither Blades. For our ninjas, we have Yuriko, we have Ingenious Infiltrator, and we have Kaito, 3 of each. And we have 4 Donatello Technique, which is kind of an honorary ninja. It's basically like to draw 2 cards with a ninjutsu-like effect. 4 Orcish Bowmasters here to round out the attack pattern. And we have 2 Snuff Outs and 2 Murderous Cuts to complement our main deck, 2 Fatal Push and 2 additionals in the sides. We've got 4 Force Negation, 3 Consigns, 2 Hydroblast to fight on the stack. We've got 2 Thoughtseize against AB combo, and we've got some back to basics. First round has already started. We're up against a likely Carnforge gamer. This hand doesn't do it against Carnforge. I'm going to assume they're on Carnforge. That's what they were on a few days ago. This is much better. It's not a lot better, but it is definitely better. I think we put back Slitherblade, and we just try to get a turn 2 Donatello Technique. I don't think they're going to be able to remove our creatures. They might. They have K command, which they can use to remove our creatures. Ancient Tomb. We are going to need to attack fast and furious if we want to reduce their life total. So the fact that they're opening with Ancient Tomb is good for us. All right, so unfortunately our opponent had some connectivity issues. So we'll jump to round 2. Round 2, we're up against a potential Affinity Stompy player. It's an Ornithopter start with a Ponder. I mean, this hand's fine. If we don't find black, we're pretty screwed. We do have an Island Ponder to do that. And even if we don't, we might find like a Brainstorm. We might find, I don't know, Affinity Stompy. I think I put this back. I just don't want to be like screwed off black the entire time. And one of the things I've established is this is actually a pretty damn good hand. We have the redundant Ornithopter, which we don't really need. We can put this back and get back Slitherblade. Or do Slitherblade instead. Yeah, I think I'll just open Slitherblade. And I'll put back the Ornithopter. Ornithopter is easier to redeploy, but Slitherblade is just a better overall creature. Like if they have a flying blocker, like a Tamio, then they can just block our Ornithopter. So this can't be blocked, period. So we'll fetch. But as I was saying, like this deck rebuilds its hand so effectively. Like if you get a ninja going, that I think it's fine to mulligan a little more aggressively. It's a fair deck where you don't mind mulliganing as much. Just because the card draw is so dramatic, especially with Donatello Technique. This could be blue-black tempo. They did mulligan. This could also be Doomsday. Thoughtseize, that is not a big deal. So, depending on how hard they're going on basics, like especially if they've got a third color, I think back to basics could come in. They took the Ponder. Don't mind if I freaking do. Holy cow, that's good. And I love how Ingenious Infiltrator is a 2/3. That's like a big deal because it just means it's like much more durable against Bowmasters. Speaking of the devil, next turn I think is probably, I mean, they may be representing Bowmasters here themselves, but I could punch their Bowmasters. I could also wait until they Bowmaster, if they screw up the timing, and swap it out for Yuriko, which would be hilarious. I mean, they could absolutely have days. Like, I don't know how cute I want to get here. I'm going to attack. Not having a land is kind of rough. Oh, I think I just Fatal Push when they Bowmaster here. So I can redeploy my Slitherblade. All right. No response, huh? Well, that's good for me. I felt for sure a Bowmaster was coming. No, wait. Oh, I have to pass priority, and now they can Bowmasters. Yep. There is a Bowmasters after all. Oh, Badlands. Interesting. Are they on Grixis control? Because Grixis control doesn't play days. You know what? I think they're on Grixis control, and I think I'm going to go ahead and Bowmaster here. This is targeting... What is this targeting? Oh, so okay, he's targeting me. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and attempt this because if they are on Grixis control and I'm able to resolve this, it's huge. They do have the days. Okay, well, I was wrong. Yeah, that's a beating. Land, please. Ornithopter's not bad. They're not going to be able to Kaito me next turn. Like what you're watching right here, this is like what Legacy revolves around, is like Bowmasters right now, like fair Legacy. This kind of like back and forth of Bowmastering their Bowmaster, and the fact that they had the days, they're on a lower to the ground deck, whereas we're like the longer the game goes, the more favored we become here. So if only I could draw, yeah, I'm not going to block anything here. I'll just take the damage. If only I could draw a land, then I could potentially have Fatal Push and Yuriko up. I think I just had to push this Slitherblade. So there is the option of like Yurikoing and potentially doing a lot of damage with that. I think I do that. I'm just going to be bold here. There is the possibility that they just have another Bowmasters, which would be pretty devastating because I'm about to draw a lot of cards. But they are going to take some damage here, and I am drawing a lot of cards, which means like if I draw a swamp, I can deploy. So I actually I'm not going to be able to rip a Snuff out or anything. I will take these Ingenious Infiltrator draws first before the Yuriko. Or I guess I'm taking the Yuriko first, rather, the way I set it up. Okay, Donatello's technique, that's 3 to the dome. Another Ornithopter. Okay, now you get your 2 draws. Or your 2 pings. All right, still haven't drawn land, but I can put out these Ornithopters and absorb damage that way. Okay, now I got land. I think I just go ahead and play out the Slitherblade. They're going to need to like basically wrath the entire board to survive, I think. And then I untap and I can push the giant orc probably, and I'll likely kill them. That's crazy. Okay, sure. I don't think that's crazy. I definitely can see why they did what they did. They're in a bad spot. It's worth noting that I'm on the play here, so they're a turn behind me, basically. Ponder's fine. This deck continues to be one where we're like gated by mana. Ornithopter is just really freaking good, but if you think about it, like at that Slitherblade, if I'd put back the Slitherblade instead of the Ornithopter, at least with the way the game played out, like I'd be in such a stronger position than I am right now because I would have been able to redeploy the Ornithopter after combat. Okay, so they're on full defense duty here. Oh man, it really sucks that I think I've pushed this and just go for the kill. I could Bowmaster. That's like the higher EV play, but then I'll necessarily lose something when I attack. My main concern is I would like to Donatello's technique. They know I have it too. I think I'm just going to push here and then I'm going to attack. They may be able to force this, in which case I won't be able to attack. Okay, well, I'm still going to attack. I'll attack like that. I'll leave one back. Because it's possible... No, it's not possible to ninjutsu anything further. If they do block, then I could Donatello technique. But I won't be able to actually Donatello technique before this dies. So that would be inadvisable. Okay, they're just letting it through. Right, so I will continue to do the Yuriko thing first. I have 19 lands in my deck. Yeah, they scooped. They didn't even look. Oh, no, they died to this, I think. Yeah, they're -2. Okay, cool. Yeah, murderous cuts. All right. So that was cool. But again, on the play, I think Back to Basics comes in against this fair deck. No, I think it might just be Fatal Pushes. Snuff Out is less good. They probably have Tamio, but yeah, if they're on like a traditional... Well, no, actually, if they're playing red, they've got a greedy mana base, and I want to punish that. I don't know what the red is for, but Hydroblast might be appealing here. It's certainly possible that we should be taking out forces and just bringing in the Hydros. I don't fully believe in that. The main thing is that Badlands really makes me wonder what their deck does. I do think it's a fair deck. It could just be like a Grixis control deck, but the fact that they had at least 2 dazes, they may not be playing any basics at all. Did we see any basics? They're almost certainly playing Baragoyf in there, so Fatal Push is very important, as is Murderous Cut. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down some number of forces. I believe that they're a fair deck, and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to go down Donatello's technique, because as long as they don't have Bowmasters out, this is kind of a good way to pull ahead. We should learn a lot more of this game, and then we'll have a good idea for the final game. This is not a keep. I need both blue and black. I'm not going to trust that like a Brainstorm is going to get there. This is not good, but it does have a Brainstorm that I can use. I'm going to keep I want to fill up my graveyard just in case I draw. Yeah. Okay, they're fetching. This could be like a Thoughtseize, which completely wrecks me. Okay, Volk. So yet another duel. I'm not sure that they're playing basics. Okay. So this is just, we'll be ready to panic fetch. Could they play Stifle in their deck? That would be really, really cumbersome. I'll just do this. I'm not going to overthink it. Like if they Thoughtseize me, I can flip. Ninjas are actually pretty good against Tamiyo because we've got like 3x Kaito. I am a little bit scared that like they just play an Underground Sea and then pass, and then I don't have the ability to brainstorm without worrying about Bowmasters. I'm going to let that happen. I don't have Shield Edict. I really do have to get Kaito out before they Tamiyo ultimate me. I'm not even close to being able to attack them for damage too. But Bowmasters answers it temporarily at least. Okay. Fetching here. Please don't Thoughtseize me. Another Tamiyo. Yeah, I mean, she can defend. Tamiyo the Younger defends Tamiyo the Elder. That's a lot of redundant cards. I can't have them daze me. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, I mean, back to basics is reasonable here. We don't need the third land. What we need now is a Force of Will to defend our Bowmasters so that we can stop a Tamiyo ultimate. Next turn, I back to basics and they don't daze, then I'm okay. But they almost certainly have their dazes in right now. Maybe I should have waited for the fourth land. It's hard to really think that the game's going to go that long when they have freaking Tamiyo ultimating in 2 turns, 3 turns technically. Now she goes up to 6, then she goes up to 8, and then we go to dead. Another non-basic. But if they tap out, then like it's just daze and force. They're not going to be able to Bowmaster my Bowmaster. Is this Merc? No, we're not ready for Merc yet. Thunder Trap. Yet another blocker. Again, basically what I'm playing to, and we'll see if they reveal a force. Shielder's Edict. Okay. So we're going to go get our Swamp. Untap, upkeep, draw. Ingenious Infiltrator can't do anything, unfortunately. I am going to back to basics here. And if they force it, that's just the game. I'm accepting it. Because they have the Shielder's Edict. They'd have to be exceptionally sloppy to Tamiyo Ultimate into an Orcish Bowmasters. If there's any possibility of it. I think if they have that's the game. Because what'll happen is they untap, and I just can't think of a situation where I can clear the Tamiyo. Let's just think for a second. So Brainstorm, then I don't have a mana to do a second Orcish Bowmaster. I could Brainstorm into a Force to stop the Shielder's Edict. I'm going to play it out, but I don't have high hopes. They're very far ahead. They've revealed Shielder's Edict, so we know that's coming, and we know that they can just answer my Bowmasters with that. They have lots of clues. They're very far ahead in cards as well. And it's worth noting that, we're definitely not winning a ultimate. Not with this deck. Like with a combo deck, you might be able to overpower it, but we're not going to be able to. Okay, Ponder. Hopefully they get nervous and they regrow, but I can't imagine them doing that. Come on. Minus and lock in that value. You know you want to. Yes! Oh my goodness, what a freaking win. I mean, we're still screwed, but they still got this has been like a 4-for-1 or something. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start with our Brainstorm. This is probably going to get Bowmastered. Okay, it didn't get Bowmastered. That's good. We do have double Bowmaster now. I think we can put back some of these Infiltrators. Now we Ornithopter, and we have Kaito up. I'm definitely going to go for the instep Bowmaster. And if they Shielder's Edict me, I'll be okay. Kaito can be killed by the Pyroblast here. I think actually it might be correct to just go ahead and do this now and ping this twice to get us some extra time. I could also have targeted Thunder Trap Trainer or something like that, but I'm interested in just keeping Tamiyo from ultimating. That's my main goal right now. And now even if she pluses, Kaito can kill her in combat, and then they head to Pyro. I don't think my opponent's playing any basic lands. My friend Quirio sent me a list, and of course it has 0 basic lands, and I was just like, I'm not playing this. I'm sorry. First of all, people like to watch me play no reserve list decks. They don't like me to play decks that have $10,000 mana bases, generally. And at least that's what my views tell me. If I want to have a video not do well, I just put some dual lands in there, and then there's nothing special about my video, right? Anybody could have recorded it. Okay, so pass. I can edit here, and then I could just sacrifice the Ornithopter. Okay, what is this? This could be the kill all the creatures thing. Yeah, Toxic Deluge. Well, that's a bummer. And they still have the Shield's Edict. So we're drawing a bunch of Chef. This is so annoying and embarrassing, but like if I just Bowmasters, they're just going to kill it, and then I have literally no counterplay. They'll kill anything I do. They have Pyroblast in hand as well. I'm sorry, I just can't imagine winning this game. I'm going to concede it. Like I have been drawing lands. I know that I've got an Ingenious Infiltrator on top. Yeah. I just like the odds are like sub 5%. And when it's sub 5%, I don't want to waste your time as a viewer. I know some people might be disappointed that I'm not like trying to reduke it, but I do think Back to Basics is very strong here, and I think we should have Force in to protect Back to Basics. I'm not convinced that we need this many Fatal Pushes. So like Grixis Wizards, they could have that Flame of Nora card in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to take out the Fatal Pushes. So I've got 4 removal spells, but all 4 can hit Berry. But we're on the play. We want to be proactive. Now I've got Force, which is, potentially tempo positive. This is pretty mediocre. We just don't have an enabler. We do have our colors, but like it just doesn't go anywhere. Like I can't see casting a spell before turn 3. That's not a keep. This is the same problem, but at least we have a Force. I'm going to keep this. I'll put back a land. I know that reduces the likelihood of us getting somewhere later, but land's the most likely thing we're going to draw. I'll put back the island because I don't think my life total matters, and I want to max the cards I have in my graveyard for our Murderous Cuts. Donatello's technique is pretty bad when you don't have an enabler. Like paying 3 mana, it's a literal divination. But we do have the 7 enablers, and we might draw one. Like we could draw an Ornithopter and still Donatello's technique on schedule and potentially do something else that turn. I just don't want to face Tamio here. Like if they play a Tamio, I might just force her. Okay, they're not doing anything. That's good. All right, Fatal Push is not a bad pickup. I don't want to take lands out of my deck because I want a 3rd land now. Just so I can start casting these Donatello techniques, at least get some value. It looks like we may have a Bowmaster off here by the way that they're kind of like not immediately playing spells. I am a little bit worried that they have Opposition Agent in their deck, so I don't think I can wait. That's pretty good. You know what? I'm going to go for it, and if they do Bowmaster me, I'll be sad. Do I want to get a second black source? I think I actually do because blue is much more abundant in my deck. All right, and we're going to take some damage here. If they Bowmaster, I'll probably force it. But then they may daze and blow that out. I just don't have any enablers for Kaito. He's a good card, but I've got 3 of them. Holy cow, that gets in. Love it. And now we got Donatello's technique next turn, or Kaito, which most likely is Kaito. We can't do both, unfortunately. I think that Donatello technique resolving and actually delivering useful cards may have swung the advantage bar back into our favor. For a few turns, I was feeling like we weren't going anywhere. I don't want to force into a daze here. I'll just let them resolve something. I can't imagine they're going to Bowmaster now. Okay, good. More cards that are going to get locked under are Back to Basics. Ponder, love it. You love to see these turn 3 Ponders when you've got pressure on the table. Once Kaito comes down, at the very least, I'm going to go up a card. And they're going to Pyroblast him, but that's cool. I will probably actually expend the Force because I can Kaito and leave a land up so that I can pay for days on my Force on their on the Pyroblast. Okay, Wasteland. Not the land they want against an all-basic land deck when they're playing 3 colors themselves. Okay. So I think here you can get in situations where they do tricks. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. And we've got like bulletproof mana. This is incredible. I think I'm going to leave up blue so I can Slither Blade. No, I'll just leave up black. That way I can Fatal Push if they try to do something. Okay, they're fetching Shield's Edict. We'll see if they name the right type. Like, sometimes like it's not a planeswalker right now. It's a creature, non-token creature. Okay, they were correct there. So now I do have to interact. I'm gonna force pitching Slither Blade. They can't pyro, but they can force back. Okay, great. We're in. That is huge. Connect. I am going to go ahead and play this out first. Now 0, just to immediately lock in the value even if they have a pyro. We don't need any more mana. Yuriko is very good. They will have to have a flyer like a Tamio to be able to get through this, and I have Fatal Push. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to ninjutsu next turn unless they can somehow clear both of these. Lots of bad lands over there. Not a lot of blue up in the house. Still extremely vulnerable to our back to basics if we find it. And Kaito's plus ability is very relevant when you're playing other ninjas. We might be able to kind of turbo them out. All right, well, they got the Kaito. They succeeded. It was a 2-for-1. All right, Force is great. I'm just going to come across and Yuriko them. And I'll just hold the Donatello technique. Commander ninjutsu. I don't even know what commander means. Well, I think this is where we act. They could have a second one that would be very annoying, and that would basically Stone Age us. Right, we're in. We're in? No, they've got another thing. Freaking heck. Okay, well, that sucks. Yeah, they're down to 3 cards over there, but they're actually like totally chill. I haven't managed to really do anything here. I had a 2-for-1 myself twice, which is something ninjas can recover from, but still it sucks. So now they Tamio and they're golden. Of course, I do have a Fatal Push for Tamio, but or Baragoyf would be really annoying because I can't trigger Revolt. Okay, they don't do anything here. Force doesn't do anything. I'm just going to chill. I'm not even going to attack. Hopefully they have like double blue spells or something, like a Murktide that they can't cast because they're greedy mana base. Like, I'll tell you, in a blue-black-red deck, like if I were playing Grixis, you would never see me play more than 1 Badlands. You really don't want 2 off-color duels, in my opinion. I know James Kisawa gets away with it somehow. Yeah, that sucks. Now they can Shield's Edict. That really sucks. I can't do anything about this. I'm going to lose. They're like clearly on like a tempo deck, but they're also, I don't know what's going on. It's similar to Grixis Control, but it's got a bunch of tempo cards in it, like Wastelands. Yeah, they have Killer 0-drop. And now we don't have a way to enable ninjutsu. I might need a push here if they have Kaito. It would be really dumb and sad to lose to Kaito. Please play like a Tamio or something first hand that I can deal with. I think that might be Baragoyf. I'm not going to be able to clear a Baragoyf. I think I need to respect it. If they pick this back up with Kaito, it's absolutely devastating. Do you have the Baragoyf? Okay, they didn't have Baragoyf. Thank goodness. They probably didn't have Kaito because they didn't play him out from hand. I just drew my best card. Come on, friend. Make a mistake. I need you to make a mistake. I'm so far behind. That resolves. Still looking for additional blue sources. Lorien revealed. Okay. So Lorien revealed is double blue, but they can use it to cycle. I think I hold my Bowmasters. I don't think I play it out here. If this is a Thoughtseize, I will. They're going to make their land drop here. Snowford Island. Okay, cool. They are playing basics. Yeah, I don't want to kamikaze my Orcish Bowmaster, so I'll just chill. I'm going to try to catch him off guard somehow. Like, I don't want to kamikaze that. I think I just attempt to play this, and then I can plus. And they blow it out with Daze, with Pyro, like with a lot of stuff, but like I don't feel like standing back is going to work. Maybe that was a punt. Obviously, we're going to see in a second if they have like Spell Pierce or something. Snapcaster with the Pyro. Yep, Snapcaster is extremely good in a game that goes long like this. And they may still have like a Kaito or something. We haven't even seen Flame of Anor, but with all these wizards, I assume it's in there. Yep, devastating. The good news is Bowmaster can at least pick this guy off. Bad news is everything else about this game. And had I attempted to kamikaze my Bowmasters there, I would have gotten blown out. I could have forced to prevent a 2-for-1, but yeah, now at least I have Hardcast Force up. I'll pass. I think if they attack, I probably will attempt to ping the Snapcaster. I might need to take another turn. Like, that might be the correct thing to do. They're playing Lorien Revealed. They might cast it. That would be crazy. I'm going to attempt to do this. I know it's like, I just don't think it's going to get a lot better. They have Hardcast Force up. Okay, so I'll take this one out first. And then second ping, I'll just set in their face. Like, there's a very good chance they find their own Bowmasters here if they haven't already found it. I think having to force twice was pretty devastating for my hand. Yeah, they're going to pay cost to do something here. Okay, they do have the Flame of Anor. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, so that's fine. That's going to trigger my Bowmaster twice. I think I do clear this while I'm doing it, just so they don't have a way to like bounce it back to hand with Kaito or something like that. So they did get a 2-for-1 there, but I've got a 3/3 Orc, which probably doesn't matter. They can easily clear this with like any number of value spells in their deck. I'll probably just have to hardcast Force unless I draw miraculously. I actually can't even think of what I would draw that would be really good right now. The fact that they have that red splash is really brutal because they're able to like 2-for-1 me when I force and stuff like that. Okay, they do have a lot of basic lands. So it looks like they're doing kind of like a Grixis control mana base. Please forget that you've already drawn your cards and attempt to brainstorm now. Okay, they're falling for it. All right. I don't know that they actually had the brainstorm, but I have done that myself a couple times, embarrassingly. So I think this is just attack and then we ponder because like they might have something to do to try to save her, like a brainstorm, and I want to be able to hardcast Force that because they might block and then try to save her. All right. And they could have their own Bowmaster here, but it's okay because it won't kill my army. It'll just grow their army twice. All right, these are above average. I think we just have to hold Donatello. No, I could Donatello immediately. And then I have Ingenious and Infiltrator and a land. I think that's better. And then at least I've got a Force Blue card and I've got something to do next turn. Like if I draw, like, I don't know what I would draw. I can't shuffle this away. I'll take Donatello Technique now and I'll just cast it. And if they have the blast, they have the blast. It's better to get this blasted than my Force. Okay. Do I want to play out a land? No. But I'm not going to have a way to shuffle. I think I just hold it. Okay, and this is where they really start to pull away from the game. Like this is when you intentionally design your deck to not have Tamio in it, and you face the Tamio deck, it feels really bad. It's kind of like when I play the, no reserve list. They have the brainstorm. I'm not going to force that. I can't. Because like they can just crack clues later and flip her. It's going to happen sooner or later. I am extremely far behind. They can regrow. I'll just let them take one card. I was going to say they can regrow like a Flame of Venor, and that's pretty good. They don't have a wizard yet. Best draw is definitely just a Bowmaster. Looks like they're clearing that. Brainstorm is actually the best draw. Okay, Thunder Trap. They could have waited and Offspringed it next turn, but yeah, we're so far behind. Like this defends this. This could whiff. It's unlikely. Dotsies. Okay, and they can just take my Force as well if they want to. Yep, that's fine. So I'm sitting here with literally nothing. And they're cracking the clue too. Why not? So I'm probably going to draw like a back to basics or something that doesn't do anything at this point. I sadly just have to... I'm trying to think of what I can even do here. Like I hit that. They're only drawing one card. See if they minus. They might respect the fact that I could have drawn a Bowmasters. They'd probably just take Tommy out of the moon, is what I would do if I were in their situation. I wouldn't worry about Bowmasters. Like my entire deck, like I've got a lot of really dead draws. Like the unblock, yeah, Shoulder's Edict. I mean, they did minus there, so I mean that is good. And they're brainstorming again. It's fine. They can put the Shoulder's Edict back if they want. If I find a Bowmaster exactly this turn and they don't have a Force, I can take out Tomio, and I'm not in a horrible position. They will likely just be able to Shoulder's Edict that away. I'm going to hold Murderous Cut. I don't care about this body. Okay, another Tomio. I might have to, if I get lucky and draw Bowmaster, which is the best draw in my deck other than Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm done. Brutal. We just got completely destroyed by the Tomio deck. Round 3. We're 1-1, but technically the first round was just a bye. I don't like this hand. It does have blue and black, but it's just like two. These don't do anything early game. Unknown opponent. This is an Island Ponder keep. And then we have Slitherblade into Donatello Technique. I'm going to keep it on the strength of that. We can't use Snuff Out immediately. We probably have more ninjas than we need. I'm going to put back Kaito because he's like a later game play, and we have 3 of them. We'll likely draw another one later if the game goes longer. Island Pass, a very tasteful island, I might add. Love that art. Okay, and that, like, freaking sweet, dude. That's awesome. Now we just Slitherblade. And assuming they don't like daze it or something like that, we're fine. We have Ingenious Infiltrator online or Donatello's Technique. I'm always going to get a ninja on the table before I do Donatello's Technique, though, because that's like offensive. Okay, blue-red. Is this combo? What is this? Oh, stock up. Yeah, they're on combo. They're on Sneak and Show. So now, I mean, we might need to actually do Donatello's Technique just to increase the likelihood of finding an answer. They are... Let's see what we draw. Force is the best draw. Yuriko actually might be okay here because she hits and does some damage. If they just show and tell next turn, we're dead. Like, almost certainly. So the way to see the most cards would be to ponder and then maybe find an island and then also Donatello technique. I just want to assume that we don't have another turn because they just successfully resolved a stock up. I'm going to try this. If we find island and force, then we're fine. My opponent is so polite that they actually apologize for not immediately saying, good luck, have fun to me. Super chill. Bowman. I mean, this is Prismatic Vista Shuffle Donatello technique. I'm going to do it. Again, all in the service of maybe finding a force of will. Maybe. We have 4. And then we're basically completely shields down for the subsequent turn. So this is a pretty big gambit. But if we find a force and they're not ready, that's like if they don't have protection as well, then we're in a pretty good position because they'll have to like probably find a reload. They only have 8. Do we find the force? No, we find a bunch of islands. Okay, so we're almost certainly dead, unfortunately. And I definitely hear people like, oh, you should have just Yuriko'd, but we wouldn't have found a force off of Yuriko and we would have died to show and tell all the same. So for this matchup, we bring in the Thoughtseize, the Hydroblasts, and the Force Negations. There's no point in bringing them back to basics, even though technically... Okay, so we would have gotten an extra turn. So we didn't know that, though. I think I just play at Yuriko so I can attack with her next turn. That, like, telegraphs a lot, though. Yeah, that way I have more mana so I can do stuff next turn. If for some reason there is a next turn, I don't think there will be. Okay, we're getting some interaction. Mysterized Village. Force. Love it. That is way more than I could hope for. I mean, like, granted, like, her being on the table and actually doing damage and advancing us toward our goal of actually killing them would have been nice, but now they may be a little... Well, I guess they don't have anything to worry about. Like, I guess they're not ready to party. They have so much mana. Why wouldn't they party? I'm going to go ahead and start with a brainstorm here. And I'd love to shuffle away some of these islands. There's the force. So Snuff Out is almost certainly not going to do anything here. I can shuffle that away. I'll put the island on top. We'll draw it for next turn. Play this out. Ornithopter. You're in, buddy. And Slitherblade. And next turn I can Yuriko and Ingenious Infiltrator, which draws 4 cards and does some amount of damage. And I can do that even if I force something here. But again, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to force anything here because of this. Like, if they do find it, they're almost certainly going to use the mana. That's fine. So now they can sneak attack, but they can't show and tell, right? Does this add blue? Yeah, I guess they could show and tell, and then they could pyro, but they can't use this ability because you have to pay a mana. Oh wait, no, you could pay the mana and then do it. Okay, we're getting so lucky. Holy cow. They didn't shuffle though, so I'm going to presume we're dead. We need something really good here. Oh, I don't have a second black source. I can't use Ingenious Infiltrator. The old mana base hitting us right in the face. Let's think about it. No, because all this stuff is damage step. So I do want a Yuriko here. I'll attack with everything. If I hadn't attacked with that, well, I'll just bring this back to hand. And then I'll replay it. So that's fine. So we are still doing a damage off this Slither Blade, which is not nothing. But it's almost nothing. Okay, so trigger. Right, this is Snuff Out. I guess I forgot I left it there. Yeah. Not very good against their deck. I will play this out. I'll play this out. And I presume we're dead, but if it's Emrakul, we actually have enough permanence that we could sacrifice everything and just keep Yuriko in play and maybe get there with that. I think it's extremely unlikely. We're up against the most unlucky show and tell player that I've seen in a while, Sneak and Show player. But I'll take it. That's potentially good, but Ingenious Infiltrator is definitely the priority here. Let's go ahead and go to attacks. So I'll bring the Ornithopter back to my hand. So we're going to be doing 4, and then we need to like rip like literally like force off of this. I do want to go ahead and do those first, just to see what we find. If I find a brainstorm, I could actually stack it. Okay, nothing. Bowmasters. Okay. This can go fetch a black source. All right. And now we'll have the black source. And we did find a second force, which is fantastic. But again, probably too little, too late. So they know about the Bowmasters. They're at 7. I'll just chill. Yeah, I've got double force up. And I've got Bowmasters. Honest day's work, I guess. If they have Emrakul, we actually have plenty of permanence. We can survive a single Emrakul strike. If they Omni, We have Bowmasters, and we might be able to fight through all that because they'll only be able to make one spell unblockable. If they tap the Ancient Tomb, they put themselves as super dead. Wow! I can't believe we won that game. Super lucky. They just hit their fail rate. Okay, so Thoughtseize comes in. Force of Negations. That's why I play 4 for this type of matchup. And then we got the Consign doesn't come in. It is not totally useless, but it's generally not useful. Okay, so we just take out all this stuff. Murderous Cut can hit Atraxa, but like, let's not pretend that we're gonna win if Atraxa hits the table. I think all the blue cards stay. I don't have the heart to take out the Brainstorm here. Back to Basics can maybe screw them. Like they had the basics. I mean, it definitely turns off that one thing. Like if we just stick it right after they've done it, like I don't know. There's definitely a temptation to just pull out the Ornithopters completely. And that way everything's blue, and except for my very powerful black spells that are potentially punishing their cantrips and helping me in the game. I think I'm going to do that. All right. So now we're very much on defense here. It is going to potentially be hard to trigger the ninjas, but we don't need to really cast the ninjas. We can just win with the Bowmaster, or we can win with like a Back to Basics, screwing them. Or, it's possible that they just get like blown out through like a double force hand and they concede and we don't actually have to kill them. That happens a lot against combo players. Not that like I'm saying it's like they're impatient, but if they think that they're just like me, if they think they're like sub 5% to win, they've got better things to do with their day. Like I'm a busy dad, got a lot of work on this hand, holy cow. All right. We have to hope they don't have the uncounterability land. That's what kills us here. Snapkeep. Hopefully they don't have a green splash for Veil. That would also be annoying. Okay, basic island. Very disciplined play on my opponent's part. I think they probably saw the sheer number of basics, and if they are familiar with me at all, they know that like Back to Basics is basically my signature card at this point. All right, so there's no world in which Slitherblade is superior to Thoughtseize, just in case. Well, actually, hear me out. If they force, we've got double force. So if they show and tell, I think we can win the show and tell war. We do have a clean opportunity to Thoughtseize them, though. I think it'd be remiss not to Thoughtseize here. Okay, and it's like stock up is the easy, obvious thing here. They do have force blue card, but they've got like triple payoff, which is not where they want to be. One of those pitches to force, though, which is not terrible. All right, their hand is completely known, right? No, they have one unknown. All right, so now we're going to attempt to Donatello technique over the course of 2 turns because that gets us up some cards. Everything else is force fodder here. We get one more land we could actually potentially cast a force negation. They're going to need to draw like bangers every turn. You know what? I know they have a lot of chaff in their hand. I'm actually going to force this. I wouldn't normally. Ponder doesn't set the world on fire for me. I've already got Donatello technique. Again, it may seem extreme. They're probably going to force back here. And generally, if you force and your opponent forces back, then that means you were correct in forcing. They're also sensing that they need to do something here. The card they pitched should have been the Atraxa, and it was. So if we force here, hear me out. Force here, Donatello technique could deliver us the goods. They wouldn't be forcing if they'd drawn the good card. I know it's crazy, but like, did they draw a Pyro? Like, if they drew a Pyro, they would have used it. Okay. Now Donatello technique has to, like, we just basically have to dodge. Like, they need a land and they need a show and tell. So we've got a little bit of time. That's freaking sweet. If I find a land off this Donatello technique, I can Kaito next turn because I can redeploy Slitherblade. All right. I didn't find it. And in fact, I'm not doing a lot here. So that's unfortunate. It's probably correct to just go ahead and brainstorm next turn and try to find a shuffle effect because like I'm never going to be able to deploy all these Kaitos. They are blue cards for force, but that's all they are. Let's brainstorm. Don't screw me. Give me a freaking fetch. Yes! This is freaking phenomenal. Okay, so cards that go back. Kaito, probably Ponder. I do need to go ahead and deploy the Slitherblade this turn. And I still have force blue card. And I can... Yeah, I'll go ahead and get blue, and then I'll actually have force negation up. Subsequent turn. So I could force pitching Kaito this turn, and then have force negation up. And then this is live for like any ninjutsu effect that I draw / sneak effect. And once Kaito comes down, the game's going to end very quickly. And then I'm going to try to dig for a land here so I can redeploy Slitherblade. And then I'll still have a force effect up. Yeah, I need to get ahead on cards here. There's the land. This is not a bad top deck, so I'll leave it, but I am going to fetch her. And this way, I just have maximum likelihood of like being able to make the most of like a... I mean, the best thing to draw at this point would be Yuriko, probably. Yuriko will allow me to do massive damage. At this point, they need both mana and an enabler. We stranded the 2 Emrakuls in their hand. Wow, they're getting mana screwed. This is just the luckiest. This is a horrible matchup for us. Okay, Ingenious Infiltrator. I feel fully vindicated. You know what? I'm just going to plus here and do massive damage to them. Is that right? Yeah, it's going to do a lot of damage here. Because this will hit for 3 plus 4, 7 damage. They're on a... they're on a soon-to-be dead clock. And this also leaves up mana. If I find a land off of the Infiltrator, I could, in theory, play out a land and then also have Hardcast Force of Negation up. And I'll draw 2 cards here. Insane. This is what the deck wants to be doing. This is, like, what you're seeing here is the deck being better than Blue-Black Tempo. It's not always the case, but in this case, it is. Hydroblast is actually, like, super clutch. I am going to redeploy Slitherblade just because there's no need to do that. If we think about it, yeah, they scooped. Yeah, I think they were just like super unlucky, frankly. Incredibly unlucky. And I think I picked the right fight over the Brainstorm. Because that Brainstorm was like basically Ancestral Recall. Right. Round 4, my opponent is likely on Ruby Storm. That's what they play in Modern, and Modern Ruby Storm is not that different from Legacy Ruby Storm. I think Ruby Storm is actually a really good combo deck if you're transitioning from Modern because it's cheap. It's a no reserve list, and it's a lot easier to play than like a lot of the other Storm decks. This is Donatello's technique, Bowmasters. This is not good specifically against Ruby Storm, but if they're not on Ruby Storm, I'd feel like a fool for putting this back. Let's keep this. We're on the draw. Like this has Blue Source, Black Source, Ornithopter, Donatello technique. Seems pretty good. They're fetching. This could be Energy is the vibe I get for this Aramesa, which is not a good matchup. Oh, wow. Are they on the freaking... they may be on the Tony Scaponi deck that I just published. Check it out. Like the Prowess deck. Card they exiled. Bolt. And then this card they just... what do they choose? MTGO, like... pretty good software, but like sometimes it's really unclear what they chose. So I don't know. I assume this is the card that they chose here. And okay, because if I believe that it's not Lightning Bolt because they revealed 2, right? Yeah. So the Lightning Bolt is still in exile, and this has been cast out of exile. MTGO is being extremely laggy. I probably need to restart it. Okay. So here, Force of Will is pretty good against their Prowess deck. Yeah, and I do feel pretty convinced they're on the Prowess deck. I think I go ahead and Slitherblade. I probably just hold up Force. And then I have Ornithopter. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I don't want to cast the Slitherblade because I want to make sure I have a blue card to pair. I mean, I could always pitch Donatello technique if I really needed to counter something. Slitherblade is a clock and it's an alternate. Like if they remove one of my threats, which they do have direct damage in the deck, like that Bolt that's in exile. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and do this. And hopefully I won't need to force anything. Checking my top card. We're in. We'll pass. You draw for Bauble. Corey. I think if they have another Bauble, this is going to be pretty catastrophic. I think I am going to force this. Because one of the things about their deck is it doesn't have just like a ton of threats. And if you can like keep them low on threats, you can win. Okay. All right. Another Bowmasters. Not the worst. Let's go ahead and just attack for 1 and we'll pass. And we'll hold up the Bowmasters because I would like to pick something off. They don't yet have 4 card types. So if they play like a DRC out, I could hit it. Okay, and it's looking like they might be flooded over there, which is great for me. I am going to go ahead and play this out in the end step because I need to step up the pressure. Okay, freaking Kaito. Heck yeah. So we'll just bring the Ornithopter back and we're going to do massive damage. I will get a second Swamp just in case I need like a Fatal Push type effect in addition to... yeah, it's always hard to decide what to bring back or which land you want to double up on, but it's almost always Island. But in this case, I'm going to go for the... yeah. Okay, so they're at 11. I do think it's worth just drawing a card here because I could find like a Nijitsu card that allows me to just win next turn. I think buffing Kaito is not as big a deal. All right, definitely don't need the Ornithopter. Murderous Cut is a sweet pickup. Now we have most things covered. We do have a blocker if they have, what's his name? The Slick Shot. They bolt my Kaito. That's fine. They Lava Dart my Kaito. That's fine. They could also like bounce, like replay the Lava Dart and poke me, but they should wait unless they're really worried about their life total. And that's fine. Okay. So next turn I can Bowmaster and also still have Murderous Cut up. That's an unfortunate draw. It's fine. We'll go ahead and do this pre-combat. Poke them, and then we get to hit them for 3. They drop to 7. They're 2 turns from death at this point. Yeah, I definitely think the critical decision was countering Corey. I think we could have lost that. Okay, so against them, Hydroblast definitely comes in. I think Fatal Push comes in. I'm not sure about Force Negation. Like, there's just like a lot of things that you have to counter. Snuff Out is actually maybe okay here because we might get a situation where we need to kill it, but like I don't really want to do a bunch of damage to myself. I'm going to cut it. Bowmasters does produce blockers, and it does potentially ping things, but it's not great against their deck. I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to max on Ninjutsu. Yeah, I think 6 removal spells is probably enough. They're unlikely to just burn us out. They almost certainly have to connect a lot to kill us. I can certainly bring in the Force Negations, but it's not very flexible, and the things you really want to counter are the creatures. This is a mulligan for sure. This is a mulligan for no-lander. This is basically the same hand we started with, but with 2 fewer cards, unfortunately. I will keep it, and I'll just put back 2 lands. All right, and I think we're probably not going to be able to use the Slither Blade. I think we're probably going to have to force something important like a Corey. We'll see what happens. They're taking a look at their top card. Okay. And if I recall, Tony's Commodities list didn't even have Pyroblast in it. All right, that's nice. All right, so I'll just hold the Slither Blade. Again, I just want to assume a defensive posture here. Like at the very least, they don't have trample creatures other than the Corey tokens. Is this Corey? Slick Shot. Okay, interesting they chose to exile it. Well, when they cast it, it is still a spell that I can counter. I don't want to draw any more land. I'm just going to get black and blue here. So I like to fetch proactively during my upkeep, and I got to land anyway. It's fine. We'll just chill. So when Slick Shot gets recast, I'll probably just force it because that's like a pretty scary card. I think this is a force. If I had enough mana, I could like double force, or I could double Bowmaster it, but like that's not going to happen anytime soon. Opera Love Song, okay. So this is till the end of your... So they just chose the land, I guess. All right, good. Because like I made the mistake when I was playing. Yeah, this happened the one time I cast the spell. I think it's the weakest card in the deck, and I would probably take it out if I had... if it were up to me. This actually allows you to do it into the next turn. But Opera Love Song, you almost always want to cast it in your end step. So that way you get it till your next end step, and you have a whole turn cycle to use it. So let's see. Urza's Bauble is the card they chose. I think, all right. And I am going to go ahead and fire this off. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're never going to be able to cancel through this. Like they could potentially remove my Bowmaster, but I want to be attacking anyway. And I just need to do 2 damage to them this turn cycle. Right. And I was hoping they'd fire it off anyway. Oh, that's so good. Incredible. I'll just bring my Orc Army back. That was just like the mother of all top decks. Like, yes. And my opponent's probably just like, no, not again. I think black is the color we want more of here. Maybe it's blue. I'll just get a blue. Okay, and to be clear, I think leaving this in the table, like this could poke again, which would be great, but I do want to not let them get a free pass on this bubble. So attack, we'll hit them, and then I am going to minus, or 0, rather, so I can get... Like, I'd like to find a force eventually. I think Fatal Push is great. Yeah, I'll take the Fatal Push. Now I definitely regret not grabbing Swamp. Grabbing the island was probably a mistake. What else could I do, though? I mean, I could, in theory... Yeah, I need to take this. Like, it hits every creature in the deck, and creatures are how they win. So they could definitely Slick Shot and then, like, kill him with the Prowess trigger. They're bolting. They're probably doing the same thing they did the previous time. Yeah, and then they can even flash back and they can kill this, and then they can bobble. But when I when they do that, I will have the Bowmaster. Okay. So they're looking at a random card in my hand and they see the Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. So they could flash this back as an instant and kill this. They might as well, but they might want to wait and do that later. I mean, like they're going to take double damage next turn. Yeah. So I will have to Bowmaster in the upkeep to capitalize on that trigger. I think that Lava Dart card is pretty damn good. Opera Love Song, they're doing it in their end step like they're supposed to. Okay, and the cards that are in exile, Corey. Yeah, Corey's scary. I don't know which one they chose because, oh wait, they can play either of them. Okay, so they don't have to choose with that. They just have to choose with the Firebrain scheme. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this. And we'll get our triggers. And we'll get our armies. Or our army, rather. It's just a single stacked army. Doing push-ups over there. Getting hyped every time our opponent draws a card. I think I have to play this out just because it gives me the potential of Fatal Push. And we're like very low, but they are, yeah, I mean, actually they have a lot more cards at their disposal, but they're flooded. Corey, what's the card? It's a bauble. Okay. It's not the worst. And if they crack through this, it does perturb the Bowmasters. They're fetching. Please don't have another Lava Dart. That would be a blowout. Or even a Bolt would be pretty bad for me at this point. I definitely want to save push for an actual creature and not just a monk token. Slickshot Show Off. Okay. So I'll definitely kill Slickshot. And they opt not to attack. Well, I do need this card for Slickshot. I'm just going to go ahead and fetch now to thin. Because like I don't have anything I want to brainstorm back even if I draw a brainstorm. All right. Now we got our perfect mana. All right, there's a brainstorm. I mean, like we could find Kaito, but I'll see what we find here. Well, I'm going to have to Prismatic Vista, unfortunately. These other cards are not that good. I think it is probably Prismatic Vista here because that shuffles away Ornithopter, which doesn't do anything. Brainstorm just replaces itself. Yeah. I mean, I could Brainstorm again, I guess. There's no harm in doing that. And then I might find like another Bowmaster, which would be pretty sweet. Yeah, let's just do that. Because if we're going to have to shuffle, we're going to have to shuffle. We might as well get a card deeper. Oh, Donatello technique. Love it. So I'll put this back. And I'll just play out the Prismatic Vista. And then I can Donatello technique next turn. I think it's fine. I actually think I attack with the Orc Army because it's going to get replenished if they sacrifice this. And I don't care if it gets into a fight. They don't have any 0-drops that they can cast at instant speed right now. Their graveyard doesn't have the... They already used the thing. They could Fire Blast, actually. That'd be pretty sick. If they Fire Blast, they might Fire Blast this, and then I'll push that so that I don't lose the army at least. Then I have to worry about Slick Shot, but they will only have one card. Hopefully they don't Fire Blast me. I just thought about that right now. Okay, they're opting to block. That is fine. I'll take that trade. I'm drawing Donatello technique, but they may actually have 2 cards. And I might be able to get... I can always just cast Donatello technique. That's actually probably... But if I can bounce this back to hand and get another Orc Army, that's pretty good. And I save a bunch of mana, and I can probably cast the things that I draw off of it. Okay, so this is extremely bad for us. They have the Corey on the stack. Now they're going to put the other thing on the stack, and they're going to get double attackers. This has haste. I'm going to see if I can get them to commit even more resources. But this is going to be this is a problem. They can't crack that bobble yet. Slickshot Show Off is just so devastating if it gets to do its thing. I'll wait for them to attack and see if they want to commit more to it before I'll push it in the block step. All right. We did get them to commit more resources here. Now they can crack that bobble, unfortunately. And they can do so with confidence. Come on, commit one more spell to it. You know you want to get like the max off this. I'm going to take a lot of damage here. Another bobble. Okay. Yeah. We're going to take 8 damage, but I'm not going to take, 8 plus 5, which is nearly death. I don't even know how I get out of this. Well, they're hellbent. I'll just go ahead and push. So that was a very important fatal push because we'd be so low that we'd basically be dead on board. But now we're actually like, we're not stable by any means. But we're going to draw 3 cards. I'll fetch away the Ornithopter. It's not going to get us where we need to go. All right, my opponent has decided to go ahead and bobble, which is smart. So they're going to get 2 new cards. They're going to see my Donatello technique. They're almost certainly going to proc Corey's again because they're going to have 3 cards by next upkeep. So it's very likely. And they've actually drawn a lot of their lands. So I don't think there's a path for me here. Hydro would be one of the better cards I could draw here. So I'll be sure to keep a blue source up. All right, let's do it. I do still have a black source in the deck if I absolutely need to fetch it. Oh, wait. I should fetch before. Okay. Okay, that's really good. So what we're going to do first is I do need to kill this with Hydro just to get one of these off the table. But I'm probably still dead. Firebrain Scheme. I'm just going to concede. They're almost certainly going to kill me here. And even my next turn is not exciting. So this is probably 2 Prowess triggers. It could even Firebrain Scheme into Firebrain Scheme. I think Firebrain Scheme is pretty good. It's basically like a blue cantrip if you want to think about it. Like in blue-red Cutter, they're like pondering and brainstorming to trigger and replace the card that they triggered it with. So with them having all of those baubles, I do actually think I want all 4 Bowmasters in. It was probably a mistake to take them out. I think I'm actually going to trim a couple Ornithopters because they don't pitch to force. And if they have the slick shot, when would they ever have an aerial blocker though? Probably never. I don't know. It's just, No, I think I'm going to take out the Slither Blades if it lets me. I think I already submitted, but it may give me the time. No, my clock stopped. Also, I'm running a process on my computer that's like a programming thing that's taking a ton of my CPU. So if you notice that it's flickering and it's taking a little longer, I'm going to stop it after this match, but I can't just trivially stop it. Okay, this is no lander. This is not guaranteed to find another land. We don't actually have a path to another land. I think I have to mulligan this too and trust that the ninjas will rebuild. This is both lands. Do we just get rid of the forces? I kind of think we just get rid of the forces here because they're only good for 1 card. And now if they have some explosive opening, I have Fatal Push, and the next turn I just go fetch, and then I've got Bowmasters, and their baubles are not going to be very good from there on out. They've only got 8 baubles, but it is nice being able to crimp those. We certainly did in the previous game. Right, here comes, this is the attacker, DRC. I will just poker. I'm not going to waste my Fatal Push on it when a poke will do the job. All right, we ripped another land, which is not really what we want to see, but it can enable Kaito. So that's a great start for us. Just being on the play, very good here. Swift Sphere, okay. Love it. That's really bad for us, unfortunately. Hopefully they flash back the dart and also kill. No. All right, unfortunately, I'm going to have to Bowmaster next turn because they're going to bobble here, and then they're just going to flash back the Lava Dart, but that does take away one of their lands. And then that will grow the Bowmaster and give me a little bit of pressure at least. Okay, they didn't actually crack that. Interesting. Well, I will preserve the option of fetching later if I need to get a shuffle. Yeah, we'll see if they flash this back. If they flash it back on my Orc Army, it's great for me because then it preserves my Bowmaster. And I can actually even flash in the Bowmaster in response and save it. Okay, so we'll just come in. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to bait them into Lava Darting. Wow. That's freaking phenomenal. And now I just do this and I ping them. This grows. They lost a land. This doesn't die to Lava Dart. They take 2 damage instead of 1. So I think that was a punt on their part, frankly. And now they can't crack the bubble yet. But it's not like we're out of the woods. But that was a very good sequence for us. And then if they don't play Slickshot here, I can Fatal Push this. Because I will just remove material from the table to keep our life total high. And now that they did that with their mountain, that means we're less likely to get fire blasted. We're less likely to have them be able to do big plays where they cast they chain their cantrips. So they only actually have 12 creatures, but then they've got the Cutter. So it's kind of like a functional 16 creature deck, which is kind of around the creature count of my deck. Right, and they are using the Firebrain Scheme here that triggers Prowess. My hope is that they go really deep on trying to make this big, and then I just push it. Since they may find a land here. Okay, and it was a land. Now they're fetching. Hopefully it's not a bolt that they have in hand, because that would really suck. I really do want my Orcish Bowmaster to be able to tax their bauble. Unfortunately, it is a bolt. So I'll let that happen. And then I can't bounce that back. And then when they attack, I'll just push. And then they'll crack their bauble. And then we're hitting them for 2, but they're almost certainly going to be able to find another threat. So Bowmaster was very, very good there. It didn't ultimately deter them being able to crack the bubble and get their card back. But growing this and, essentially eating one of their lands and getting that card out of their graveyard so they wouldn't be able to get the trigger later, that was all good. Right there, cracking the bubble. They see the Fatal Push at random. Play another bubble. Okay, and they could have held that. They knew that we were going to push here. We're definitely going to push. Look at our top card. Hopefully it's a good one. Like another Bowmaster would be nice. So we will push. And now we've got the only attacker on the table. They are getting their 2 cards back. What is the card? Oh no, it's a terrible card. Well, I actually think I hold it for a brainstorm. I'll just play this out. They already know what's in. I could draw a ninja. It can block. It just feels wrong to play it out when I've got brainstorm on my deck and I've got a shuffle effect. I'm gonna chill. Like if I find Kaito, I'll just jam him. I don't necessarily need a ninjutsu him in. I could always just put him on the orc army. And this is where we die to Cutter. Oh, DRC. Yeah, that's a good card that I can't deal with currently. And Slick Shot. Okay, that's a lot of pressure. Now, had I played out the Ornithopter, I'd be able to block here and prevent 1 damage. So, yeah, I probably punted by not playing it out. And then if I draw a Kaito, I'll really feel like I punted. Donatello technique. Yeah, I punted. I absolutely punted here. We're going to do this. Just draw. See if we can find a Fatal Push. We can't. We drew a bunch of chaff. Play this out. We're probably dead here. We're definitely taking 3. I can attempt to block here. And then maybe they use like a Prowess just to kill it. But if they're attacking with a Prowess already out there, then I probably don't do anything. Because I think I just take the damage and then Ornithopter hopefully converts into a Kaito. That's really how I get out of this at this point. I just drew way too many lands this game. Opera Love Song triggers both. They find Corey. Oh, they put Corey in the graveyard. Oh, they binned Corey with DRC. Never mind. Okay, another Swift Sphere. So this can't safely attack, but it can attack the subsequent turn. And it's a blocker if they feel threatened in any way. Okay, so is this death? This might be death. I think if they aimed this at me, it would be better. Because I would have been inclined to block anyway. No, yeah. No, that's right. Because they're going to do 5 damage instead of 4. So they were correct. It feels like my draws have been super sclerotic. Maybe I shouldn't have Force in my deck is one thing I'm thinking. Because I could have just played like a bunch of Fatal Pushes and removal spells. I'm not going to let that go. Like that, bringing Kaito back and Kaito stunning the DRC is basically my only path to, any form of survival here. All right, let's spin the wheel. Can this be an ancestral? That's not bad. That's not bad. So I put this back. We ponder. We try to find some Fatal Pushes. Or I could Yuriko. I could just cast Yuriko, and that might be able to block this for a turn cycle, but I'm dead in the air. Yeah. I have to ponder into a Fatal Push. It might have actually been correct to keep a land, but as bad as it felt, just because then I could potentially do more. Yeah, like I have to... We push this. I think we have to push this. The DRC is like a guaranteed death next turn. And then they have to have business, which they're going to most likely have. These cards are great. Like, it's a shame. I think I put the Brainstorm on top, and then I have Fatal Push. Let's think about this. So depending on what happens, like we almost certainly need a push here. In fact, I can't think of a world in which we can take this 3 and still have any sort of path to survival. Like, these are... Yeah. I mean, I think we're goners, but I'm just going to let them get a Surveil. I guess I don't really care that much about the Surveil trigger. I'd rather be able to take this out if in the extremely unlikely chance that I can somehow survive by killing Slick Shot instead of DRC. They are down to 1 land, so it could be that like they don't have the spells. Like they draw a bunch of 2-drops, like Opera Love Songs. That's what I'm hoping my opponent's hand is, like 2 Opera Love Songs. Or Corey's or something like that. We're dead to Bolt. Okay, so yeah, that's bad. We're going to have to kill the Slick Shot now, and we're going to drop to 1. I'll have to chump. I just don't see a path forward. I don't see a path out. We're drawing Donatello technique and Brainstorm. Brainstorm might be able to get us somewhere. Final ball. Okay, good game. Good game. Well played. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. We're up against your Bunny Rote, unknown opponent, final round. This is a 5-lander. I don't like keeping these without a brainstorm. And even with a brainstorm, it's risky in case they thought seize you. So I've kind of learned to just throw the 5-lander back. Well, we're moving to 5. I'm not going to keep this. There's nothing we can do. Force isn't good enough by itself. This is great. Okay, this is perfect. So we keep. It's not perfect, frankly. It's mediocre. But I'm going to put back Murder's Cut and one of the forces. And then we'll just hope to draw a creature. A creature ties this whole thing together. Like a Bowmaster would be great. All right, more of the same. I'm just going to chill. I'll just play this out just in case I desperately need to snuff something out. Like if they're on like Cephalo break. Actually, I can't think of a situation where I would desperately need to snuff something out right now. But it's probably worth doing snuff out during their turn so that at least we don't have to worry about force negation. Okay, they're on like blue-black tempo most likely here. All right, and they most likely have a Bowmaster here. So I'll just chill. I don't terribly mind drawing a land. Okay, that's fantastic. Now I'm rewarded for not, and now they're going to Bowmaster and I can just brainstorm in response. How did I know they were going to do this? I just play a lot of Legacy. What can I say? I checked the other day. I've got like 200 or 300 videos. I mean, this is pretty sweet. This is pretty sweet. I can't snuff that out. Like, I'm not even sure that, is it worth forcing it? I can force it around days. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. And it could enable Kaito, which is also a pain in the butt. I think I put back this land. I'm likely to draw a land. Then I just force, and I have Ponder and Ornithopter to enable Kaito. But I have guaranteed Kaito next turn if I kept that land. So yeah, that was probably a punt, sadly. I think I punted. I could just wait and draw the land. I think I do that. I don't actually have Kaito next turn because I'll have Summoning Sickness. Wasteland, okay. Is this Berry? It's Berry. Well, we are screwed, friends. I need to shuffle this, but if I fetch, I could like Berry Connect once. Yeah, they're just going to get outclassed by the better blue-black deck. And I say that, I don't say that with joy. Like, it's just like, how can you beat these cards? These are way better than the ninjas we're playing, frankly. But I'm going to still try to stay strong and see if we can convert a win. But they just like put 2 must-force cards on the stack, in my humble opinion. Land for known Kaito, Ornithopter, let them connect. Then we have Kaito come in, unless they have a removal spell. I think it's better to just fetch here. I'll fetch during my upkeep. That way, if I find a Fatal Push off this Ponder, I can have Revolt. Well, that's freaking sweet. Holy guacamole. What a lucky draw. Yeah, I don't have a second land, so I do want to kill this. And they could have days. All right, we got it. Holy cow. What a freaking reprieve. And now I do think we Ponder while the Ponder's good. I'd rather this Ornithopter get countered than the Ponder. Is that true? No, I don't think it's true. I think I want to Ponder. And then if they daze this, that's totally fine. Holy guacamole. What a freaking spread. These Bowmasters are fantastic. And we have Kaito next turn. We could put the force in our hand just in case they play another Baragoi, which I would force with Kaito. I think I do that. And I do want the land next turn just in case I get to Kaito. All right, well, we're getting very lucky here. This is probably a daze if I were them. If you have a daze, you should probably daze here. And I'm not going to react, obviously. It's not worth forcing to clear this. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about whether to daze. Yeah, and they do daze. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad I sequenced the way I did. I got rid of their threat. That's the important thing. So we'll draw a land. We'll just chill. And then the subsequent turn, we'll be able to Bowmaster them, which will be very powerful. Unless they have like another Baragoi or a Murktide, which is what it looks like. So I don't have a choice here. That will kill me before I can get going. So I am going to force to nothing, and they still have 3 cards in hand, and they might be able to daze. They don't. Okay, good. Well, we stopped their must-stop threats. Like, I'm not crazy there, right? Like, that would have been like at least a 5-5 or 6-6. We're drawing land, then we're drawing Baragoi. Like, we'd be dead, frankly. I'm going to play that out. So we're drawing Bowmasters, which is a good card, but I don't think it's going to carry us. And then we're drawing Wild after that. A lot of this is just a result of us having to mull. I can't remember. Did we mull twice? We just mulled once, right? No, we mulled to 5, and we were on the draw. So, yeah, like, this is just not our game, frankly. Tamio's a pain. We might be able to... I mean, they look kind of flooded over there. Please play out of Bowmasters. Another Ponder. So they're unloading all their cantrips right now before my Bowmasters hit the table, which sucks. And also, I think they just flipped this because that's their second Ponder. Yeah. So the good news is I do have Bowmasters. And if they try to do anything, like if they minus her, I can snipe her. And maybe my opponent just thinks I drew a land. Well, this gives the game away, but at least we're getting a 2-for-1. I will ping the actual card that's threatening to win the game if they clear the Orcish Bowmasters. And if they have their own Bowmaster. Wow, they're flooded. Please be totally flooded. No. Okay, so I actually don't know what we can do here. We draw Fatal Push and then we chump. And then we have Fatal Push on. That's a good draw. That is a very good draw. Okay, we just cut. That works great. And then, yeah, we cut. And then next turn, we Ingenious Infiltrator. That's really sweet. Sick rip. All right, so I don't know. I might as well. I can't do any damage here. I'm trying to think. Like, they have Hardcast Force up. That's a reason to cut now. And I'll just pay the extra mana in case I draw another one. I'm going to get rid of Ornithopter because that's an artifact. I'm going to get rid of... they already have sorceries in their graveyard. They actually don't have instants. So I'll get rid of some instants. I didn't get rid of all, but whatever. This is the second Baragoyf. So they're on like a big Baragoyf build. And so if they just draw a cantrip here, I'm golden. I think I can win. Because I can bounce this back to hand. Okay, they're plussing. They could have a Bowmaster, which would wreck me. All right, so I attack with both. Actually, I don't attack with this. I just attack with this, and they might snipe it, but I don't really have a choice. I need to attack them because I have to draw a card here. This gets debuffed. So they should presume it's like a ninja coming in, because why wouldn't it be? And now, if they have a Bowmaster, I'm already cooked. So I get to draw a card. It's a force, and we pass. And if they can clear this, we're dead. This might be another Merc. Yep, that's fine. I will figure out a way to clear that. Hopefully. Okay, they're plussing to 9. Come on, good card. I think I just cast it straight up, but they could have days. Okay, the option... I think what I do... They are going to have to attack me at some point, but what they could do is if they're smart, like in my humble opinion, what I would do is I would just hang back and not attack with this and keep plussing Tamio until I find a way to clear this. So 2 unknown cards. They could be dazed and then force. Yeah, I'm just going to chill. I'm not worried about them killing me quickly. This is their second Murktide, so it's unlikely they have a third. But I have to compliment them on just playing lots of really big threats. We haven't seen Netherglyph, so they're just on like the big blue-black tempo deck. I'm not even sure how many dazes they're running, but I'll respect the fact that they could be running 4. All right, so unfortunately, I do have to let them take this. They'll probably take Technique. But they might take Force just because it represents me being able to stop their next, spell that would clear Bowmaster. So they should not attack. They should not attack. If they attack, I'll be so happy. Okay, well, we've still got a ball game because they're choosing to attack here. But I'm going to get 2 cards now, assuming they don't have... Well, I mean, they would never remove this. They would always remove this. Another Tamio. So that does block. So now, yeah, I'm screwed. Like, I have to clear this now. I can attack with both. Then when they block, I can Donatello Technique, but then I can't... Oh, yeah, I can Donatello Technique and then recast. That works. So I'll attack both of them. It doesn't really matter. Like, this is so arbitrarily high in loyalty that I'm never going to clear it. I just need to find a second Bowmaster. So they only get to block 1. They'll block the Ninja, and then I'll bring this back to hand with Donatello Technique, and then I can recast. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're not out of the woods yet. Like, we're going to take 6. So, yeah, it's fine. At this point, I think I just pinged them instead of Tamio. I don't think that really matters. We just don't want them to draw like a force. So we have to play this out main phase. We do have a force for their removal spell if they draw one. We now have a lot of bodies. So if they attack with this again, I can attack all. And then I can potentially put in Yuriko, which can potentially do enough damage. It's unlikely, but it's possible. They're regrowing the Thoughtseize. Okay. So this will clear one of those. It does buff the Murktide. So they are likely going to take, unless they have a removal spell, they'll likely take Yuriko. If I draw a land, then I can actually ninjutsu Orc back to my hand so I could attack with 3 creatures instead of just 2. They took the Yuriko. Okay, we're taking 7. We have one more turn to figure something out. And really, it just has to be like another Murderous Cut, I think. Snuff out, we're too low in life. Let's think about this. So we just attack all. They block. I need Jitsu this token back to hand and put in Ingenious Infiltrator. And then we will get 2 cards. One of them is a land. One of them is, yeah, I mean, it has to be that, basically. All right, let's go ahead and attack all here. And they'll almost certainly block the Ingenious Infiltrator, so it doesn't really matter. But just in case, like, yeah, I'll attack with this. So, again, it has to be this token because I have to have the Bowmasters in play so they don't ultimate me. So I connect. I get 2 cards. I could, like, snipe this Tamio, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because I'm dead next turn. Okay. Unfortunately, I do think I'm dead. Like, okay, so I could brainstorm into land and Murderous Cut. That's like the only thing I could do here. Ornithopter actually may save me for a turn cycle. That's actually a pretty close draw. So I'll put back this Fatal Push, which doesn't currently do anything. I could fetch to clear it, but it's not that bad. I have to have the Brainstorm to protect this so I can chump. But then when I chump, can I kill them next turn? So 1, 2, that's 2 damage. I don't think I can, unfortunately, even with the Bowmaster. So I'll need to Brainstorm to find another Ornithopter, which I'm not going to be able to do. I think I have to put back the Bowmaster, sadly. It seems really sweet, but like I need to fetch to find a different card, to find different cards. I could fetch in Surveil. They could minus and get my Thoughtseize. They're just plussing, that's fine, to defend themselves from death. Right? Ornithopter takes 1 for the team. At this point, I am going to fetch Surveil. Oh, I'm not playing Surveillance in this build. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of unnecessary fetch. I needed a fetch during my upkeep anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Let's untap. All right, let's think about this. If we can find Yuriko, we can potentially win. If they have a Bowmaster, they would have Bowmastered in just 1. I do like the idea of just brainstorming first, but we see a lot of cards. Gosh, let's think about this. If we find a Kaito, we can win, right? So 1, 2. If we find a Kaito, we can just Kaito and then plus, and then we're doing more damage. I don't think that's good enough. Yeah, it's tricky. I think I'm gonna pre-combat this. No, I see more cards if I do it after combat. Like I'll only draw 2 cards. That's still good, and then I can force if they try to remove one of these because it's worth 2 cards anyway. And it's possible that like I see a Yuriko here. No, it wouldn't matter because I'll draw the cards in combat. So these get debuffed. I do need to worry about clock here because I'm like thinking extremely hard because I'm on a mold of 5 on the draw, like extremely adverse circumstances. Okay, so now we get our 2 cards. And maybe I should have brainstormed first. Okay, so we get that and snuff out. I can actually snuff this out. I think that's a good use of my mana. I'll do it now. They may be holding cantrips. They have the Hardcast Force. I will force back. Bye-bye. Okay. And now I'll just hold this Brainstorm. All right. They're chilling. They're chilling. Yes. Oh, so good. So freaking good. Let's do this. I'm going to draw so many freaking cards. It's going to be insane. Ninjas. I'll draw. Is this 6 cards? Okay. Those are pretty good. Untello technique. All right. So I didn't draw like anything that just ends the game here. Play this out. I do need this back on the table. Well, let's see. I shouldn't have played this out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and ponder first. Looking for a force. Any order shuffle. I'm still looking for a force, but this needs to resolve, so I'm just going to play it now. They have the second Hardcast Force. So now this Brainstorm has to hit a force or they ultimate us, and we almost certainly lose. Okay, well, that's not good news, friends. That's not good news. They can just find 2 Bowmasters and probably ping us to death here. All right. Well, I tried. That was unfortunate. Like, we got really freaking close. I'm just going to F6 through the turn because I don't have any clock. They're going to ultimate here, and we're going to see if we're dead. They flip the other Tamio. Like, they've only seen how many Bowmasters? They just need the 2 Bowmasters here. They've only seen 1, so it's extremely likely that they have 2. They could also just put out like a bunch of Baraglyphs and stuff that we'd have to deal with. If they somehow, by some miracle, didn't produce enough blockers, like they could probably just find Fatal Pushes for all these. They have Revolt. Fatal Push 1. Fatal Push 2. I mean, I'm proud that like this game was as close as it was, frankly. We were extremely disadvantaged. And by waiting like and letting them do their stuff, like at least we're kind of evening the clock. Is this a Bowmaster? Yeah. Okay. So I can kind of dump my hand here for some part. But they've got 2 attackers, so I need at least 2 blockers here. Okay. I think I just Slitherblade, Yuriko. I mean, like they haven't forced any of these, but they almost certainly have force. Yeah, let's play Yuriko. And then like they just need to remove one of these and they'll be able to get through. Or 2 of them, I guess. Or they need to force this and then remove one of these. They forced a 1. So now they can play like their Baraglyphs and stuff. These can't be blocked. All they need to do is plus this, and then these can't be blocked. But if one of them gets through, then ninjutsu happens and Kaito kills. And I don't think there's anything they can do about that. They just need to push one of these creatures, and I'm dead. Okay, good game. All right, so we are both pretty low in clock. Like, I'm lower. So this matchup is just Fatal Push all the way. They weren't playing a ton of basics, and this will be a grindy one. So I think those could come in. Snuffhound is actually pretty good against their deck just because like it doesn't hit a lot of the stuff, but it saved us there. It's not clear what we should cut here. Pretty much everything's good. I mean, Force of Will was pretty clutch, but it actually isn't that necessary. But if we're going to be drawing cards like crazy, it does help us like lock in the win. Maybe we do trim the back to basics. They are going to be playing it's not really for this type of matchup. It's for like lands and 12 posts and stuff like that. And it just occasionally screws the opponent, but I could trim a couple forces. I think that's probably fine. We're on the play. Let's go. All right, so we have tons of removal now. Like 8 removal spells. This is fine. More mana than I like, but I'm not going to complain because we have 2 removal spells and we have a Bowmasters, which is like the best card in the matchup. This is really just a Bowmaster mirror is kind of how I think of it. So I will just play this out and I'll pass. And I am F6ing, which I don't usually do, but I just anticipate this being a very long match. I'm not going to play into anything into days. I'm just going to play a land and pass. Okay, that's a good draw. F6. And now I'm not going to F6 just in case I need to snipe like a brainstorm, but I don't think it would be advisable. Our opponent is almost certainly trimmed their dazes, though. Thoughtseize. Well, I am going to go ahead and do this just because I don't want it to get Thoughtseized out of my hand. If they have a daze, it's a bummer. Okay, we're in. And now we have pressure, and if we draw a ninja, we're in good shape. They'll almost certainly take the Donatello technique unless they have like some creatures in hand. Murderous Cut is nowhere near being online. But if I fetch a couple times and with this, I think it'll be probably online next turn. All right, they took Murderous Cut, which may mean they're going to murk us. All right, so let's wait. I will almost certainly be snuffing this out just to not deal with it. Holy guacamole. Let's kill that. Bye-bye. I do want to bring this back to hand. I'm just going to go get a second island. Let's come across. I will bring the Orc Army back to hand instead of the Bowmaster. Because I do like the idea of like locking off their cantrips to the extent that we can. All right, take it. All right, and now there's like a legitimate... Yeah, I'm going to just get ahead while I can. Holy guacamole. What did we do to deserve these? Yeah, I would like to draw this. I can't use it. I shouldn't have drawn it first. Should have drawn the Ponder in case they have another Thoughtseize. Like, they shouldn't have Thoughtseize in their deck, frankly. They misplayed by putting that in there. It's not for these types of matchups. I'm an aggro deck. Nice Wasteland. Gaberi. I can just stun him and keep going face, and that is what I shall do. All right, let's go ahead and do that. I could find a ninja. I think I'm actually going to fetch first just to minimize the likelihood of me needing to shuffle. All right. And now let's go ahead and ponder. Donatello technique is good, but I've already got lots of stuff to do. Yuriko. Thank you. You will be going in this turn, Yuriko. I've already played my land, right? So Yuriko is going to come in and we're going to chill with these cards on top. They're both excellent cards. And they are going to get a chance to cast their cantrips, but it's fine because Yuriko is so good. So we get 2 triggers. Boom. Maybe this is death? No, because I already know what's on top. Yeah, I kind of like it. I didn't really get a chance to stack how I wanted anyway. They're at 6. I think we've handily got this one, but I've been humbled before. Like they somehow like, I don't know, they'd have to have like basically a removal spell like Shielded Edict would be good. But we've got double Bowmasters, which are going to do a lot of damage. As long as we can keep this from like untapping and attacking, I think we're fine. And then we'll have probably about like 7 minutes for the final round, final game. The thing that makes Kaito so insane, and he's really the reason to be playing blue-black, is he just doesn't die to sweepers, and he's just like extremely difficult to kill. He laughs at Karakas, he laughs at like Mazevith, stuff like that, like all the traditional things that would like keep kind of like a control gamer alive. Kaito can just kind of laugh at, and he pitches the force, and he's uncounterable when he comes in. It's like, it's just, he's definitely the best planeswalker. Whoa, interesting. Okay, that's fine. They're worried about dying. All right. So actually we just have them because we plus here, we hit them for 4. I could do the thing where I could do no, it's cute. It's not necessary. I'm just going to hit for 4. Then I'm going to go ahead and do this first because if I can just kill them, I don't care about fail pushing this. Got it. That's how we want it to go. Not the mold of 5. All right. So no changes here. I think we do bring in forces just because we draw a lot of cards and it'll be humiliating if we lose because I think I'm going to trim on Donatello Technique. He's a good card. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not convinced he's a 4 of. Love me some Donatello. He's my second favorite turtle, I think. My favorite turtle was always Michelangelo as a kid, but as I grow up, Leonardo is the one that I like the best. Leave a comment with your favorite turtle. I think Leo is like the one that grown-ups aspire to be, and Michelangelo is the one that kids relate to, which is really cool that like the show kind of... Okay, please don't have days. I do want to clear this. Actually, I don't need to worry about freaking days. I've got freaking snuff out. I'll just snuff this thing out. I mean, like, I could push, and then I still have snuff out for Murktide, which is a pain. And if they daze here, it's not that big a deal. Okay, cool. So now if they barrack away for something, it's a pretty big deal. If they Bowmaster here is a nightmare. All right, I'm just going to chill with... I'm extremely vulnerable to Bowmaster right now, but I probably will just force it. Let's see what they do here. Okay, they didn't Bowmaster there. 3 lands. Is this Uncle Barry? I do need to force this. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the end-step Brainstorm just to get more into my deck. Is that right? No, it's not right. In fact, I should have probably waited. But I don't think that was a good. I am gonna try to find a land here. Okay, I can Slither Blade next turn. Not good. Not good. Let's think about what we don't want Thoughtseize out of our hand. We don't want the Yuriko taken. The next turn is Slither Blade, and then the subsequent turn is Yuriko. That's really all I can afford to do. I've got 6 minutes. Let's think. So, yeah, I do want to keep Slither Blade. I think I put Kaito down there because he's definitely not coming out anytime soon, and then Yuriko on top just so they can't Thoughtseize this turn cycle. And then we have answers to everything but Merc here. But actually, we have Merc cover too. So we're just going to chill and rely on our answers. Okay, they're flooded over there, which is very good for us. They've been a daze. Okay, so they do have days in on the play. So we'll just take it really easy here. And now they're going to have to choose if they Thoughtseize between Bowmasters and Yuriko, both of which are excellent. That's fine. All right, so there's a risk here that they have the Brainstorm. Okay, that's super lucky. And they can push this here. They just fetch push. Wow, it's connecting. That's huge for us. Oh, and they take 4 from Ingenious Infiltrator. Love it. I'm still looking for land. Hardcast Force up. No action. Interesting. Murderous Cuts on line. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and attack and just see what they do here. I think they may have a Bowmaster. What? Holy guacamole. I never would have expected this to get through. Well, now I'm kind of thinking like a Brainstorm here, but then I get blown up by Bowmaster, so that's not going to happen. I'm just not going to risk it. Holy guacamole, we found the land. I mean, it doesn't do any damage, but it's still freaking sweet. I think we just Slither Blade here, and we have double removal up, which feels insane. Like I feel like we've got this one. I don't know what's in their hand. They could definitely like a card that's within their range. Oh man, too bad we don't have back to basics in our deck. My goodness. They're flooded over there. So I think a card is Toxic Deluge. That would be very strong here. But then I could just end step Bowmasters, and if they don't have the days, then like I'm just ninjaing again. Kaito, cast out of hand. That is fine. They're likely to stun this, but then I can attack and kill Kaito with my own Kaito. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I think I'm going to go for this just because it's more bodies and it's more pressure. And I may be in error in doing so. We do want more black. Gosh, what if they have the freaking Bowmasters, though? Well, I'm going to try this. If they daze, it'll be crushing. Whoa, we're in! Yes! All right. I am feeling pretty good. So, Yuriko attacks them, right? Yeah, and Yuriko has to attack them, but this, they all attack Kaito. And then this swaps out, and Kaito's exactly dead. And we could absolutely get blown out here with like a Bowmasters, which we're overdue for, frankly. I want to take this out of action and give them their cantrips back. So, trigger. Kaito's down. Another Yuriko. We don't have any action. We'll just chill. Oh, wait. We do have an action we can take, which is buff our ninjas permanently. All right. And next turn, with the Ingenious Infiltrator, we might be able to just do lethal by attacking at them because we just swapped the Slither Blade out. They just said, GG's. Holy cow. We beat like the best deck in the format, frankly. So that like I was kind of like having a lackluster league, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to publish this, but that final round was fantastic. We did get lucky. Like they didn't find their Bowmaster. Let me say GG's to them real quick since they said GG's to me. They were GG's indeed. Keep playing your bunny wrote. So again, to recap, like the first round, that was a bye essentially. Then we lost. I understand that the replays are live now. Congratulations to MTGO for getting the replays live again. I know it was like probably non-trivial. Like shout out to the Daybreak team. They are working with 20-year-old software that they inherited from Wizards when they acquired the company. So like as a software engineer, it's not trivial to do things like this. Especially when you're working with like a large legacy code base, probably written in like C++ or Java or something like that, not in modern languages like Python or JavaScript. So this was the Grixis tempo, and I was disappointed to have lost that. And then if I recall, I think we lost against like Green White. Oh, this isn't the deck. This is a teaser for the next league. I am playing Mill. I'm going to play Mill, no reserve list. I'm going to keep the no reserve list decks coming. Just a quick comment. So as you know, I am on X Twitter. You can follow me if you would like. But this thread by Brian Cook, Epic Storm, whom I have profound respect for, he's basically talking like, I've only met two people who said, oops, all spells is... I've met two people who said, oops, all spells is the only way they could play Legacy. So there was like a ban announcement lately, and they kept Carmen, the woman who is in charge of the, I guess, ban list. She opted to keep Oops in the format. And as you all know, I'm no fan of Oops. Neither is the Eternal Glory podcast. And really, neither is very many people. And they were like, basically, she was trying to say it's a budget option. And it's so frustrating to me. But Brian Cook called it out, and he actually mentioned me by name. We have creators dedicated to this topic, such as Be Excellent. I'm so tired of my friends, acquaintances, and travel companions quitting Legacy over her inability to manage the form. So I'm not going to comment on that. Like, but I will say that like Oops All Spells should have gone. Like, I'm pretty happy with the format if you get rid of Oops, and like if you get rid of Tomio and then give us something that functionally is similar to Tomio, but not quite as powerful. So let's take a look at the list again. I want to remind everybody that for about the same cost as Oops All Spells, you can be playing this beautiful deck that won't give you free wins. You'll have to work hard, but you'll actually be playing Magic the Gathering instead of just playing some solitaire game. I'm going to keep these no reserve list decks coming. This was a lot of fun. Immediate thoughts, Donatello Technique, great card. I think, I hate to say it, but like what we need more of is probably removal, right? Like these fatal pushes could be main deck. And then we could put some Shieldred Edict in there and just have even more. Because the reason is Shieldred's, man, they always make these possessive, and it's so awkward to say Donatello's technique. Just say Donatello Technique, you know? Anyway, I know that they want to be grammatically correct, but like everybody, like I'm just going to call it Donatello technique. I'm not going to call it Donatello's technique. It's so awkward, that aspect of the English language, that we have to like affix these awkward S's to the end of our vowels, and especially like splints. That's the word in English that involves 3 consonant sounds at the beginning and 3 consonant sounds at the end in a single vowel in a single syllable word. Splints. Think about how hard that is to say if you're not like a native German speaker. Okay, so let's take a look here. I think Donatello technique goes down, and then we bring in more Fatal Push, and then boom, we've got like 8 freaking removal spells. The main problem I face with this deck is my opponents just put some freaking dork out, whether that's like an Elvish Reclaimer, whether that's something that can block Yuriko, and then Yuriko can't shine anymore. And just ripping like removal is so sweet. And then, Shielders Edict, we could, so I could envision the matchup we just played. We just cut Force completely. We bring in the Shielders Edicts, and like nothing really matters like that they try to do. We're just going to have answers for it. Because almost everything in the format is creatures. And then Kaito, basically. And having Shielders Edict in the sideboard will increase our ability to interact. I'm always keen to try new cards. And I love them. And I do think this is a worthy inclusion in the deck. But I do think that this should I also think that this should probably be a 2 of. It is nice that it pitches to Force. Let's take a look at our blue count here. So 17. Oh, it's fine. It's not great. But that is 26 blue cards. I think that's more than enough, frankly. Also the mana base, like we mulligan a lot. But the thing is, Ninjas, I do believe it's a deck that mulligans well. And I think the game that we almost won, that we mulled to 5, I think that's a very good testament to just how good Ninjas is at clawing back into the game. Literally clawing with this Yuriko claw, right? She's like clawing. I want to claw back into this game with my ability. It's. I don't know if that was the intention of the people who designed this card and did the art and everything, but like that is precisely what she does. So I'll leave it there. I had a blast playing Ninjas. Leave a comment if you want me to play more Ninjas. I'm probably going to set it aside for a while and just play some other no reserve list decks. But this is how I will play it next time I play it, which it might be a week or 2, but there are just so many no reserve list options right now, that I'm excited to play. Look for a mono blue Curiosity list. I'm going to try to drive these blue lists down in price as low as I can and still get, positive records like we did here. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.